Heather. I'm married. I have 4 kids, 5 dogs. Going to school for veterinarian technician, and then after that, I'm going to go be moving down to, can't remember where. It's somewhere in Virginia. And go further my education for a marine biologist. I can't remember the names of his William Scott. For a marine biologist.
Save the coral. Think about Caroline. Go ahead, Ebony.
My name is Ebony. I am 37 years old. I moved from Massachusetts. I'm originally born in Norfolk, Virginia. I went to elementary and middle school in Virginia Beach, and I just recently moved back to the area, so I decided to come to school.
Hi, I'm James Robert Christopher Kelly.
Oh, shucks, give the school name.
I'm born in Norfolk, Virginia, and I was raised in Virginia Beach. And I moved in Chesapeake. You know, my mom needs her own house together, and also I graduated from Deep Creek High School 2018 recently, and I came here to TCC to have some experience so I can get involved with people and have some working experience. And my work, excuse me, I have work study is Veterans Office. Yes, it's a good experience, and also it's a great first semester.
Oh, welcome.
Your turn.
Alright, I'm Shanita. I was born and raised in Chesapeake. I'm transferring to Virginia Wesleyan. I either want to be a doctor or a social worker.
I forgot. Everybody's telling their age. Okay, so yes, that's my turn. Everybody's telling their age. I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 now in 3 months. So yes, that's it. What else? What else? Oh, I like to martial arts. I lifeguard. I teach babies swimming or teenagers. And I think that's about it. So, Taekwondo, you said you like to go by Kwan though, correct? Yes. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Sydney's going to pass out then our course information. We have a few decisions that we need to make outside of now that we've all signed our media form. And this is why I said I wanted to go over it together. I don't want you all to freak out when you see the packet. So when we go to the first page, and I'll let you all take the time to read that on your own, but of course it says ENF 2, preparing for college English 2. It's 4 credits. It tells us when we meet, Monday and Wednesday, 11 to 12:40. For spring, it tells our room. It gives my information, office hours, which are going to be down in the LAC. We'll probably go down there, if not today, because I don't think it might be needed today, but we will go down as a class so you know where we are. I am down there also, not just for office hours, also I work there. And when I'm not helping you all as a tutor as well, then I'm also doing my own homework. But Sydney will be down there. We also have given you her information. Now, when you see preferred email, please email us at the preferred email if you have an emergency or any kind of contact. Also, when you email me, CC her for me as well. Add her to it. Preferred email, that is very important. And the reason why those two, the preferred emails, come to our phones because we connect it to our Gmail. And if you all don't know how to do that, then that's something that we can also show you. It might not happen today, but we will get to that so you know how to connect it to your Gmail so then you can get it to your cell phone so you'll know of any changes or anything, okay? From that, you have my teaching philosophy. I won't put you to sleep by reading that. It's very interesting, but she also has her philosophy as well. Now, when you turn over course information, there is no textbook. I'm sure y'all are probably happy about that. I know myself I am. We get into the course description. You all know why you're here or the prerequisites. You got either referred or placed into this class. Going into then the core components of the class, we're going to deal with critical thinking. You're going to be able to recognize information, and you're going to be able to write to communicate. Additional elements, which I have added: develop, organize, and structure essays. You're going to conduct research. You're going to know how to use in-text citations and know how to do your works cited page. You're going to learn how to paraphrase and summarize. To be honest with you, and I was thinking about it on the way here, summarizing you're going to need for more your current events. Paraphrasing is just a skill you'll need to know. But from my own experience, I feel my work is more credible or more creditable when I actually cite directly from that site and then cite it, because it feels like mine has a little bit more leverage. I can paraphrase it, but then it's not as strong, it seems to me. But I'll show you both of those skills so you will know those skills. From there, you'll learn how to do short and long quotes into your essays or your writings. And like I said, we're going to show you Purdue OWL. I keep talking about Purdue OWL, so that means, let me bring it up. I'm just going to put an MLA format. Go down. Check it out. I'm just going to bring it up. So if we can get to it, we'll be ready to go. For the outcomes of the class, basically you're going to know how to pre-read, read, and post-read. You're going to know how to pre-write, draft, revise, edit, and proofread. Vocabulary, James. You talked about vocabulary, so let's figure out how to expand that. That's going to be one thing that we can work on as well. Demonstrate certain strategies, rhetorical strategies, and apply them to your college level text. Our college level text, again, when we implement current events, that's going to be college level. Usually current events, they say, are based on an 8th grade reading level or a little bit higher, but that's, everyone usually can read a current event. Does that make sense? Or at least should be able to read a current event. You should be able to analyze text, look for the main idea, the minor details as well, or the major details as well, which are the supporting details. We're going to, like I said, implement the reading. The reading is going to be your current events, and then you're going to be able to structure paragraphs and essays. You're going to be able to identify, evaluate, integrate, and document your sources properly. And if you notice, as I'm reading this, I'm trying not to read every word. I'm going to let you do that. If I am going too fast, though, let me know. When it comes to your writing, grammar, spelling, punctuation. When it comes to your sentences, it's going to be syntax and semantics. Syntax is the form, so your subject with your verb, or subject with predicate. Predicate incorporates your verb and the rest of the sentence. Semantics is the meaning that you convey when you write. Within your paragraphs, this is where your structure comes in, and I think as developmental writers, but I still use this within my own writing, look to do 7 to 10 complete sentences. Old school used to be 5 or 3 to 5.
Like 5 to 7.
Yeah, okay. So now, and also I'm saying 7 to 10 is because when you're writing a long paper, it usually tries to get you to meet your word requirement, but also the length, but it gives you something to aim for just instead of just like free writing, which is a mindset of Peter Elbow, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes I think you need a little bit more structure as you're writing to be like, oh, okay, it gives, like, for instance, if I tell you 7 to 10, say if you aim for 10 and you're doing 2 paragraphs, that's going to be 20 sentences. I think that takes up your whole first page. That makes sense. Okay, it's a 4-credit class. We meet for an hour and 40 minutes twice a week. I say allow for 12 hours of study. Okay? There will be in-class assignments and out-of-class assignments. Expect homework, hopefully it'll be fun homework. Please ask me questions. Again, if you do not understand or need me to repeat something, raise your hand. I do not mind. And then all grades will be posted into the TCC system. And I say Canvas, but something tells me, I think I'm going to end up handing them out. So you actually have your hard copy. You have your electronic, but I'll figure out that information. So for your attendance and participation, please, and I know Heather already informed me of something, that's fine, but do the best you can to attend all classes, arrive on time, do not leave early. If you do need to do so, just communicate that with me, but just knowing with you attending all of your classes and arriving on time and not leaving early or leaving out to step a phone call, you get 5 extra credit points at the end. So that's the difference, even though yes, this is a pass-fail class, I hate to say fail. That's the difference between if you get still a C to pass or if you get, let's see, a C is a 75, so if you get an 80, which is a B, to pass the class, which is still, that letter grade is still important to see, I believe, within your work. Absences may be excused, just let me know. Like I said, Heather has already let me know that. Not attending class may result, of course, in a non-passing grade, which would be an F. Missing 5 classes is 15% of the class, and that is not acceptable. All assignments are to be submitted at the allotted time or due date. Exceptions are at my discretion. For in-class assignments, they are to be completed, of course, in class, and they cannot be made up even if you're absent. But again, we'll post the link so at least you can be aware of what's going on. Homework will be assigned by the instructor, which that would be me. Paragraphs and essays will be assigned by me as well. We're going to show you how to use Google Docs because Canvas does not allow you to do portfolio work, and I would like for you all to do portfolio, but it's going to be a tweak to that assignment. Also, Sydney and I have drafted that tweak coming up. To let you know what that tweak will be while we're speaking of it. Portfolios basically are like how artists, you enter your work at the end of the semester, you see how you've grown and what you've liked about your revisions to your papers or your artwork, if you may say. What we have decided to do, outside of also switching things over to a debate, is for the portfolio, you're still gonna do a portfolio, but instead of you just handing it in to me, you're gonna actually come and do an interview. So it's gonna be an interview portfolio. Then when I thought about it, I guess it's gonna be kind of like when I do my orals, I graduated grad school, but the only difference is gonna be based on what you give me. It's not gonna be based on what I think you were supposed to learn. It's gonna be based on your work. So we'll get to that. Late assignments at my discretion. Turn over to page 4. Under communication, I have my email, office hours on the front, and also by appointment, and when I'm downstairs. I have given you my cell phone, which means I'm gonna need your cell phone numbers. The reason why I've done this, please don't share it with anybody that's not in our class, because I've learned this concept from Dr. Anderson, which I have later on today. If you get stuck on a project or something that you're working on, you want to be able to reach your instructor. Yes, we have 24 hours to get back to you, but sometimes you need a little bit more immediate assistance. With that being said, or like you said, an emergency might come up with your children or your family. I might not get the email until I get here, even though, yeah, it comes to my cell phone, but I might get your text faster. So that's the reason why I'm saying that is for that reason. Or if you think something that is newsworthy for our class, like again, Dr. Anderson, I text her, told her I was like on the basis of sex, awesome for our program and for students to go see. Matter of fact, I'll recommend that for you all as well, and I'll tell you why it's relevant to this time frame. But I just let her know that as my instructor, also look at her as a mentor, because she might want to incorporate that in her class lesson. But she also said, oh, I want to go see that. So it's something you all might say that I might not be aware of, you can make me aware of, because I'm not on social media either, to be honest with you. So stuff like that, but just don't be like, hey girl, how you doing? What you up to? No. Make sure we just keep it based on what we need it on. So that is that, but make sure, we'll get to that, but make sure then that I have your numbers because I'm going to program you in my phone, so I know that it is you all. With that being said, Shanita, smartphones and electronic devices. Yes, ma'am, I'm going to call you out. Matter of fact, wait, you read that for me. Page 4, under that, read that for all of us. Go ahead. You know why I'm saying that, because I saw you doing, can you talk about have a dream? You was on your cell phone just like this. So go ahead, read that.
Keep these items on silent and or vibrate. For emergencies, please step out of the classroom to take the call. If you miss class time for calls, you're responsible for any word and instructions that you have missed. Also, do not text during class. If you are found in violation of this statement, you will be asked to leave class and will receive a 0 for the day, and it will count toward your class attendance and participation.
Thank you, ma'am. Like we said, I understand you have family members, children, whatever. We all are grown. Yes, keep them on vibrate. I have mine here. Mine is also to keep aware of the time. Even though Cindy's also, she can allow me to, or she can notify me of the time as well. But like you said, if you have things that do happen, I just ask you to step out. Again, since we are recording, then that means if you do happen to miss something in the class, you can actually go back to the link and watch it and take notes. So, as far as the policies are concerned that are college-wide, those are the links that you can review for the handbook, the Code of Student Rights and Responsibility, and then Policy 5203. So I suggest if you want to take a look at those, please go ahead and enter in those links. Now, this is where some decision on your part is going to happen. And this is why I'm saying this is probably out of the norm. I'm letting you all decide your learning path. What I mean by that, you see option A and option B, correct? Okay, so for option A, for in-class work, 10%, homework, 15%, essays, you would have 5 at 5% each at 25%. Google Docs portfolio, 10%, or 5 at 10%, which would be 50% as a to 100. Then for option B, In class still is 10, homework is 15. You have paragraphs. You're going to do 3 at 5%, which would be 15%. Then you have 2 essays. 2 essays at 10%, which would be 20% total. Then your Google Docs portfolio is 40. Again, it totals to 100%. If you look at page 5, it says you as a class get to pick your learning option. Either way, you will succeed, which is true. I've given you your grading scale because you still will have grades. And I'm going to do something that has not been done probably. You all have A's. Usually, remember, you have to work for your A. You have your A. You all have to work to keep your A. Okay? So, with that said, you all, the 5 of you, need to get together and discuss which learning path. Now, if you're wondering, either way, I have scaffold the assignment. So if you all want to take a chance as a group and look through it and say, what does that mean? That means I've actually chunked it. So you're not writing one essay in like a full week. Like I actually have you writing a little bit here, like an introduction. And this is how I write myself. If I have enough time and the teacher or instructor has told me like 30 days from now what's due, I write a paragraph a day, if that makes sense. That means I'm like, oh, 7 sentences. So what I'm saying, I practice what I preach. So how I've designed this for you, it is doable, if that makes sense. And I'm not, it's rough drafts and things you're going to do along the process. Now what will prepare you better for English 111 or 112 is going to be option A. But B is also, if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, but we're here both to help you. Like I said, I'm not just saying here and write. I'm actually giving you time to write. And you'll be writing in class and also at home. So you all, 5 of you get together, tell me which option you would like. You can scroll through. You'll see option A, what the assignments look like. You can scroll through then, and you'll see option B, what they look like. So you 5, huddle up, do whatever. You all figure out what you majority rule. We're democracy. So you all figure out what path you would like to take. Y'all can wheel around because the desk wheel. So once y'all get a chance to look at it individually, I expect y'all to move around, whatever, so y'all can talk about it.
Group huddle.
Yes, group huddle, very important. And I think this is new. I think I stumped y'all because y'all looking like, what? We actually get to pick? Yeah?
Also, a good thing to note is with the communication for these assignments, you're not just going to be limited to asking us questions or asking for help via class or only email. You're not going to be waiting for a response. We both have tutor times downstairs in the lab, and you also have access to our emails that come directly to our phone. So you're not going to be waiting a day or 2 to respond if you have any questions.
And don't forget, y'all are going to have to discuss this, so I'm waiting on y'all to get together and discuss before you let us know what you would like to do. Oh, wait, I do need to take, okay, so the revision again would be your interview portfolio. That's going to be a difference. You're still going to enter it electronically and you'll have your hard copies, but it's just going to be an interview about it. But you're still going to make your revisions. The other revision, which I would have to put, remember how you probably see about debate? Instead of writing your persuasive paper or argument paper, it's going to be the debate. We're switching it over to the debate. And the reason why is because when you still, not just for my great uncle, and we've lost the essence probably of debate, I myself